Well, this is called like Teeth in the Night, a vampire spoof with my heroine punching the snot out of a lot of whiny vampires. And since she's kind of got Superman power levels, she can do a lot of punching. Chapter 61, What Has Gone On Before. Holly Grail Svensson has been awake for 3 days, protecting her hometown and tracking down and fighting vampires. She was nearly killed in her most recent fight. Cal the Intellectual, her Batman-esque boyfriend, put her in his big, black, scary Intellecticar and drove to her home in Encinitas. He and Holly went to her little basement shrine to Batman, a little Batcave bedroom, to talk about this battle. Then Cal activated a force field that imprisoned Holly there while he returned to the fight. Holly was, to say the least, not happy about that. The device will not let Holly out until it reads that she has slept for at least 6 hours. Holly's powers: flight, super strength and toughness, super telekinesis, a nasty temper, and blonde Amazon good looks, and a deep love for Cal, enhanced slightly by his Batman-type costume. Her first crush was on the character of Batman. Cal's powers: super intelligence and body armor and gadgets, and a deep love for Holly. Chapter 61. The chapter was sleepless in Encinitas. Encinitas, California. Holly's beach house, her basement Batcave-themed bedroom. A Friday, 10:52 p.m. Holly licked blood off her knuckles. She had super punch for 15 minutes straight. Her fists were healing. The force field was totally unmoved, totally indifferent. She was stuck in her Batcave, alone, if you do not count the looming Batman mannequins lined up on both sides of her bed. She looked daggers at the out-of-reach force field generator, topped by a sensor aimed at her. The sensor's little red LED lights stared at her. Holly stared back. Okay, Cal, you win. I'll sleep until your gizmo glows green and lets me out. 6 stupid hours. Then I'll find you and stop those twerpy vampires from killing you. If you're still alive by then. She choked on those last words, then her voice grew strong. Although right now I want to kill you myself. Steam puffed out her nose. She tugged at her slightly skimpy Holly Grail supersuit, then decided she was too tired to change into her usual Batman t-shirt nightie. Besides, that was reminiscent of vampires and Cal. She turned off the lights, except for the lamp on the bed's headboard. She was not ready for total darkness yet. She lay down on the bed, pulled up the covers, and wished with all her heart that Cal was there to tuck her in. She stared at the ceiling. Thoughts throbbed into headache. Her jaw clenched and unclenched. Her thighs tensed and relaxed. Her right hand balled into a fist. She straightened her fingers. Like a crazed mouse scampering inside her body, muscles fidgeted in her back, her shoulders, her neck. Holly closed her eyes hard enough to bend steel. She took a deep breath and held it, and held it, held it, and slowly blew it out, trying to deflate her tension. Her eyelids twitched, then opened, scraping like sandpaper. She looked at the sensor light, still red. A match for her bloodshot eyes. Her ears rang in the silence. Last night, I didn't get to sleep at all by the 5th dimension. Holly twisted to lay on her left side. Her eyes met the glowing, glowing gaze of her Batman statues. For the first time, she found no comfort there. "Why are you still here?" said their cold, pitiless, plastic eyes. "Your hometown is crawling with bloodthirsty, crime-committing vampires. Justice must be served. Chins must be punched. Or do you want your cousins bitten and turned to the darkness? Or your beloved Cal the Intellectual drained of his intellect of blood and turned into a whiny vampire, never again to wear anything above the waist? No more six-pack abs, Kevlar." Holly winced and tossed onto her right side. More Batman statues glared. The one dressed like Cal glared hardest. "Holly, those vampires want your holy blood. Do not give it to them. Stay out of this fight. Stay away from anything that whines and has fangs. The world needs you. It's Superman. Far more than me. It's Batman." Holly rolled onto her back and whispered, But I need my Batman. She stifled a sob and sat bolt upright. No, no, I won't, no! Her bleary eyes alighted on her comic book bins. She reached her hand out, telekinetically pulled and grabbed. Comic books floated to her, ready to comfort. She read, Superman flying to rescue Lois Lane from the clutches of the Kryptonite Man, to face certain green glowing death, because that is what heroes do. She swallowed hard. She read another. Green Lantern flying to rescue his hometown from the bomb planted by Banana Man, to face certain yellow sticky icky death, because heroes protect and sacrifice and don't let evil win. And Holly said, Pearl, what's with Green Lantern's stupid weakness to the color yellow? She opened another comic book, a gritty comic book. Wonder Woman arriving too late. Everyone in town was murdered, piled in a giant heap in the town square, from grannies to children to puppies. And on top of the heap was her true love, Steve Trevor, bloody, mangled, dead. Sad story, isn't it? Grrr, said Holly, spreading her arms, blasting telekinesis. Comic books flew off the bed, Batman statues crashed to the floor. She buried her face in her hands. Her shoulders shook, and then steadied. Hands lowered from a grim face. Holly lay down on her back, forced every muscle, every thought to unclench, relax. She frowned. A pillow lump bunched into her neck. She whirled onto her stomach, grabbed the pillow in her fist, and fluffed it. Pow! The pillow exploded. Holly whirled onto her back and slammed her body and fist onto the mattress. Crack! All four legs of the bed broke. Whomp! The bed hit the floor. Holly's lower lip trembled. She reached up a steady hand, a shaky hand rather, and turned off the light over her bed. The room went pitch black, except the unblinking little red light of the sensor. In the darkness, angry sobs started and grew louder.